Daf Nun Dalet Amud Aleph, 3 lines from the top. We learned previously the machlokes what Rav Yochanan held. There's 2 different opinions. What was Rav Yochanan's shita? We say the bracha of Borei Morei Shemotzei Shabbos. Do we also say it on Yom Kippur or not? Ve'inu Keman Svirle. And they, who do they hold like? Who do they hold like the shitas that I hold that Rav Yochanan says, Ula and Rabba Barachana, that it says that Rav Yochanan holds that you make Borei Morei also on Yom Kippur? Who do they hold like? Ki hadam Rav Yomi Masechet Pesachim. It said in the name of Rav Yochanan mevarchim, or you make the bracha on the fire bein Motzei Shabbos bein Motzei Yom Kippurim, also on Yom Kippur v'chein Amud Yomi. And that's a minhag, and that's what people are noyik. So that is the halacha in the name of Rav Yochanan that you make it on Motzei Yom Kippur as well. How can you say that that's what Rav Yochanan holds? Ein mevarchim el or el Motzei Shabbos. We say in this brisa that it says you only make the bracha on the fire only on Motzei Shabbos. Why is that? Because that's when the fire was created. And when a person first sees the fire, first sees the flame, he makes a bracha immediately. That's what Tana Kama holds of Rabbi Yehuda. And Rabbi Yehuda says, no, he doesn't make it immediately. He waits till he has the kais, and he makes the brachas of Amavdal, Borei Per Gefen. He makes them of the Besomim, the Eish, Hamavdal, all on the kais. He combines it on the kais. Now Rav Yochanan said the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Now apparently the machlokes over here only is, do you make it ala kais, is Seder ala kais, or do you make it as soon as you see it? But there doesn't seem to be a machlokes on the opening statement of the Tanakam, who says he only make the bracha el Motzei Shabbos. And Rav Yochanan himself said the law is the Rav Yehuda, and l'chayr Rav Yehuda holds that the bracha is only on Motzei Shabbos. The Gemara says like Hashem. Kan be'or sheshavas, kan be'or hayetzim and eitzim and avonim. There's a difference. The bracha Borei Morei that you make on Motzei Yom Kippur is not the same as on Motzei Shabbos. On Motzei Shabbos, you make it on a fire that you ignite on Motzei Shabbos. You make the fire, you light the fire, and you make the bracha on that flame. On that flame, that's what we're talking about, is that is only made on Motzei Shabbos. You cannot make the Borei Morei on Motzei Yom Kippur on that flame. On Yom Kippur, you have to make it on a fire that was burning on Yom Kippur, and now you're making a bracha on that very same fire. What's the reason? Because there's a different yesod for the 2 brachas. On Motzei Shabbos, like we mentioned, you're making the bracha on the fire that was created, because the creation of the fire was Motzei Shabbos. So you make it on a fire that was created. On Motzei Yom Kippur, it's not on the creation of the fire. The reason you make the bracha is because during Yom Kippur, this fire, you could not use it. You cannot cook with it. You cannot use this fire. It had to be an Orish Shavas that was resting. Now you're mavdil, you differentiate. You say on Motzei Yom Kippur, now you could use this fire, you could burn with it, cook with it. So you make a bracha davka on Ur Sheshavas. So therefore that's a chilik. Then kan be'Ur Sheshavas on Yom Kippur you make the bracha on Ur Sheshavas. Kan be'Or Yotzim and Eitzim of on Motzei Shabbos, so that you make from the wood and from stones, from flint rock, from creating the fire, from a match. Tane Chada, we learned in one brisa, Ora Yotzim and Eitzim and Avonim mevarchim alav, that you do make the bracha. Tane Chada, ein mevarchim alav, that you don't. Like Hash, kan v'Motzei Shabbos, kan v'Motzei Yom Kippur. The chilik between Shabbos and Kippur. Rebbe and Mefazer. Rebbe would scatter the blessings of Havdalah. What does that mean? He means whenever he saw the fire, he would make the bracha. He had a Besomim, he would make it, as soon as the first opportunity he had to make it, he would make it, even though he's not combining it together on the kais. But Rabbi Chia, he would gather it together when he had a cup of wine, and then he would make all the brachas on that kais. And even though we said he scattered them, but But then afterwards he would be masada them and arrange them on a kais in order to be mitzi his wife, his family members with Havdalah. For the Gemara, we're saying that you make Havdalah, you make the Bar Mera'esh on the fire of Motzei Shabbos because it was created on Motzei Shabbos. Was it created on Motzei Shabbos? We learn in the Baraisa, Asarat Dvorim Nivru Be'er Shabbos Ben Hashmashos. There were 10 things that were created on Shabbos Ben Hashmashos Elohein. And these are the things that were created at that time. Be'er, the well, the Be'er of Miriam, that they had the water, that they were able to have the water from during their traveling in the midbar. V'haman, and the man, v'hakeshes, and the rainbow. Ksav, the script. So it means the letters, the form of the letters of the olive base. Umichtav, and a michtav, the stylus. They used the instrument used, so to speak, kivyachol, that the Rabbeinu Shalom engraved the Aseret Dibros on the luchais. The Aseret Dibros, like the Gemara says in Megillah, the mem shebeluchais, it was b'neis omed. That it was mace, it was like suspended in midair. You could see it from both sides. V'haluchais, and the luchais themselves. The luchais, the first luchais, that was from the hands of the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Kivra Shel Moshe, and the burial place of Moshe Rabbeinu, nobody knows where it is. Uma'arash Hamad by Moshe V'Eliyahu, and the cave that both Moshe Rabbeinu and Eliyahu Navi were protected, and were protected in that cave. And Psichas Pia Osan, and the opening of the donkey's mouth, the Osan shall bill. Psichas Pia Aretz Rishayim, and the opening of the earth to swallow up Kairach Adas Kairach, the Rishayim. So all these things were created on Erev Shabbos Ben Hashmashos. The Maral says Erev Shabbos Ben Hashmashos is a time when it's transitioning between the Yemei Chol and the Yemei Shabbos. So these are things that were created that Dovid Gashmi that have a unique ruchniistic characteristics. It's connected both to the Sheish Yemei Bereishis and to Shabbos. There's a machlokes Rashi and the Rambam when he said these were created. Do we mean that was bepoil created and just that they were hidden away, or do it means just bekoyach they were created? Now, coming to the point, our point over here, Rabbi Nechemia, Mishum Aviv Afa or Vaper, he says that also the fire and the mule, the existence of a mule. The mule is from Kilaim, it's a hybrid. It's between a horse and a donkey. And that was also created. So this is the kasha, therein lies the kasha. You see that the fire was created not Motzei Shabbos, it was created Erev Shabbos. Now he continues, and he says, Rabbi Yeshua of Ha'ayil Vashamer, he says also the Ayil, that Avram Avinu by the Akedah, he was Makriv in place of Yitzchak, and also the Shomer, the worm that was used to cut the stones for the Beis HaMikdash. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, he says, Hatzvas, he says also the first pair of tongs. So in order to fashion, to make kelim, to make instruments, you need a tong to do it. Tongs are made with other tongs. Who made the very first one? The very first one, that itself is a keli. How was that created? How was that made? Alai bria b'dei shamayim. It must be, therefore, it was b'dei shamayim. Omar alei. They said, the Hofstedter Rabbi Yehuda, no. He says you can make it with a mold, and it can be made, and it can made properly, and form it quickly. So so therefore, it's not a bria b'dei shamayim; it's a bria b'dei adam. Al Kopanim, we see that the Ur was created, not Motzei Shabbos, it was created Erev Shabbos. The Gemara says, like Kasha. Ha b'Ur didan, ha b'Ur digan. There's different types of fire. There's the Ur of our fire, the fire that's made through humans, that's made was on Motzei Shabbos, what Marishan, and the or that it's talking about on Erev Shabbos is the or of Gehenna, or the dawn b'Motzei Shabbos, or the Gehenna b'Erev Shabbos. Frank the Gemara, or the Gehenna b'Erev Shabbos. Is it so? Is it true that the or of Gehenna was on Erev Shabbos? Tanya, we learn in the Brisa that seems not that way. It says Shivat Zvorim Nivro Kaidim Shenivro Olam. There were 7 things created before the creation of the world. Elohim, Torah, Utshuva, V'Gan Eden, V'Gehenna, V'Kisei HaKavod, and the throne of the Rebbeinu Shalom, Ubeis HaMikdash, and the Beis HaMikdash. Now, the Beis HaMikdash, physically, the Beis HaMikdash was built by Shlomo HaMelech many years later. But the Ben Yoyada explains the Beis HaMikdash means the Koyach HaRuchni of the Beis HaMikdash, that Koyach that enabled Hashras HaShechina to be there in the Beis HaMikdash, that enabled all the Nisim, that Koyach HaRuchni was created before the Bria. Ushmoi Shel Mashiach, and the name of Mashiach. Now the Gemara brings rise to it. Torah Dirshu, where do we see Torah? Because the Pasuk says, Hashem Kanani Reish is dark. Hashem made me the Torah. The beginning was ways before the creation. Shuva Dirshu, it says, B'terem Haram Yulado, before the mountains were born, meaning before the Bria of the earth. Uksiv Tashiv Enoshadaka Tatim Reshuv B'nei Adam. It says in the pasuk, it says next to it, you return the man to pulp and say, do tshuva. So you see that the tshuva is b'terem haram yulado. Gan Eden Dirshu, it says, Vayit Hashem Elokim Gan Be'edem Mikedem. It says he planted the gan in Eden from Mikedem, which is Taiches before, not as in the east, Mikedem, before the Bria. Before the Bria, there was a Gan Eden. Gehenim Dirshu, Ki Or Chamasmal Tafta. It says that Tafta was prepared from before creation. Tafta is the name for Gehenim. It's the place where the people who are the Yetzaras Mefata, Tafta Mefatim, entices them to do Averas, that's where they end up. Kisei HaKavod Beis HaMikdash Dirshu, Kisei HaKavod Mora Mirisha, and from before, Malkam Mikdashena, the Kisei HaKavod, Malkam Mikdash Mirisha, is from before the Bria. Shmoi Shel Mashiach Dirshu, it says, Yi Shmoi Lo'olam, Lishnei Shemesh, Yinain Shmoi. It says before the Shemesh, that his name existed before the Bria, before the sun. So you see that the Gehenna was created that even before the Bria. So how do we reconcile the two brises? So the more answers, Amre Chalalahu the Nifra Kaim Sheniroilo. It says that the halal, the space, the cavity, literally, that was before the Bria. That was before the Urdi Day Erev Shabbos. But the fire was created Erev Shabbos. Fracting more of Urdi Day Erev Shabbos. Is it true? Is it so that the fire was created on Erev Shabbos? We learned in the Brisa Rabbi Yosef. He says, B'Sheni B'Shabbos, the fire that the Kadosh Baruch Hu created on the second day, Ein like Kviya La'olam, is never extinguished. So as we'll see, and we'll see through the Brisa, that the Or of Gehenna is on the second day, and the fire is never extinguished. The Mashal speaks out that we're talking about over here. Normally, the Rishonim are not more than 12 months in Gehenna, but here we're talking about the ones who are the Apikarosim and who are the deniers, the heretics. They are the ones that the fire is eternal. So this fire that was created on the second day, it says in the pasuk, it says, you'll see from the corpses of the people who rebelled against me, that because their decay will not cease, they'll always continue to decay and rot, and the fire will not be extinguished. It's always a perpetual, eternal fire. Why? On the second day of creation, each day of creation, after the creation, says Kitayv, but not on the second day, or Shel Gehenna, because the fire of Gehenna was created on that day. Never by Kitayv, even though it doesn't say Kitayv for this on the second day, nevertheless, it was included in the general Kitayv that's mentioned on the 6th day, which it says in the pasuk, Shenemar Vayar Elakim Es Kol Asher also Vinei Tayvad. Everything that it created was Tayvad. But I'll call upon him, you see that the fire of Gehenna was on the 2nd day. It wasn't on Erev Shabbos. Ella, the Gemara answers, Chalala Kaim Shnei Rayel. The Chalal, the space for Gehenna, was before the Bris Yisrael. V'or the day b'sheni b'Shabbos, and the fire was on the 2nd day of Pri. V'or the dawn b'machshava al l'ros b'erev Shabbos. What does it mean that the fire was created on Erev Shabbos? It means machshava. V'loi nivra ad motzai Shabbos. But in actual fact, it was not created physically until Motzai Shabbos when Adam Arishan created the first fire. The Sanya Riyas Yemer Shnei Dvarim Olam Machshava Libaras B'erev Shabbos. There were two things that the machshava was to be created Erev Shabbos, V'loi Nivra Motzai Shabbos. But in actual fact, they weren't created until Motzai Shabbos. But Motzai Shabbos, not as the Kadosh Baruch Hu Day about Adam Arishan. On Motzai Shabbos, the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave wisdom to the Adam Arishan. He gave him this knowledge. Main dugma shel mala, similar to of the chachma of mala of Shemai. He brought 2 flint stones and he rubbed them together and he created the first fire. And the fire shot out. He brought 2 animals, a horse and a donkey, and he was Mavriya them, he crossbred them, the Yasamehem parrot, and a mule came from them, and he created the first crossbreed. Rav Shimon Gamliel, he says no, that the first mule was created later. Parrot b'mei Anahaya, it was created at the time of Ana Shenemar, who Ana Shermatza Es Hayemim B'Midbar. He was Ana, the one who discovered the mules in the desert, meaning he was the one that did the crossbreeding and created the first mule. Darshei Chamurus Hayyim, the ones who darshan the secrets, they darshan the following: on the apostle Haya. He was a apostle. He was a mamzer. Lefichach hevi apostle loylam, and therefore he perpetuated something like him, something which is apostle. Shenemar, it says in the pasuk, El b'nei Seir HaChayri. These are those of Seir Chayri, and it says Tziva, Tzivayin, and Ana. And Ksiv, Ela b'nei Tzivayin, v'Aya v'Ana. These are the sons of Tziva, Aya, and Ana. So it says the b'nei Seir HaChayri. It says that is Tzivayin and Ana, and then it says Ela b'nei Tzivayin. These are the sons of Tziva, Aya v'Ana. So what is the lineage over there? Was he the son or the brother? El Melamed Sheba Tzivan al Imai. So he was both. He was both the father and the brother. His Ba Tzivan al Imai, he was boil his mother of Vohilamena Ana. And he gave birth, and she gave birth to Ana. So Ana was the son of Tzivan and also the brother. So that's how we reconcile the psukim. So therefore he was apostle, and he perpetuated his own min, and he crossbred the horse and the donkey, and which created the mule. Well, how do you know that that was the case? Maybe there are 2 different people. 2 different people. Ana, one was a brother, one was a son. Omar Rava says, Amina Mills the Shur Malka Leamra. I'll say something that even Shur Malka, the king Shur, didn't even say. What was that a reference to? Umana Shmuel. That's a reference to Shmuel, that the Paskin like Shmuel, and because of his greatness, we call him Shur Malka, the king of Persia. Igadamre Amara Papa, Amina Milsa, the Shur Malka Leamra. I'll say something that Shur Malka didn't say. Now, who's that reference to? Umana Rava. That Rava, also because we Paskin like him. Al Kopanim, how do we know that there weren't 2, that he's one and the same, and he was a mamzer Amrakra who honor the Mikara? He is honor that was from before. Who honor? He is honor that was there from before, meaning he is the very one and the same. He is the son, he is also the brother. Tanura Rabbanan Asarat Varam Nivra Be'er of Shabbos Ben Shmosha is Ve'elohein Be'er Uman Ve'keshes Maksava Michtava Luchais Kirishal Moshe Marash Hamad by Moshe Ve'Eliyahu. And the cave where Moshe and Eliyahu stood, Psichas Pia Asan, Psichas Pia Arsli, V'Yas Rishayim. V'Yeshayim, some say, now, till now this is what we had before, but some say in addition, Af Maklai Shel Aaron, the Makel of Aaron was also created at that time. Kidesh kadeu precheh, rather. It's kedeu precheh, the almonds and the blossoms, meaning the nace that was there, that the makel, the stick of Aaron, by the Machlekes Vadas Kairach, and it showed that he was the chosen one, and therefore it sprouted out beneath the ishkadeh prachah, the almonds and the blossoms. V'yeshamim af mazikin, that even mazikin, v'yeshamim, some say af bigdai shel Adam Rishon, the clothes of Adam Rishon, that were very special clothing that had the images of the different animals, and different species. That special clothing also was created at Erev Shabbos.